What's up? It's Dr. Will James reporting to you. Dr. Will James Reports. If you're already not subscribing, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you like, share the video, leave a comment, let me know what you think on the content. So, not gonna waste too much time. Today I'm doing a reaction video to Dwayne Wade sitting down with his son, who he calls Zaya Wade. You guys know I'm all about, Black empowerment in the Black community. I do not support Black emasculation, and so let's just get into the video. I'll break it down from there, and we can discuss it. So here we have a clip of Dwayne Wade. He's going to be sitting down with his son, who is supposed to be trans and identifies as a female. Well, not identifies as a female, identifies as a woman, which to me they're interchangeable. You're identifying as the opposite gender or sex. I always say how they try to separate it. But if you look up the definition of woman, it says adult human female. And they talk about gender as a social construct, but race is also a social construct. So then you would be saying people can identify whatever race they choose to. So it makes no sense. But I just want to say that it's Dwayne Wade and two other Black men. All of these men are doing a horrible job because they're supporting the emasculation of a Black boy. Furthermore, right out of the gate, you can see Dwayne Wade with the nail polish on. It's just ridiculous. Let's just get into the video.
Crew came down. You got a chance to be around 2-3. You've been photographing her. You've been having cameras in around our family since she was 2 or 3.
Oh my gosh, he's brought me back. Yeah, it's been so cool.
He says her, referring to this boy Zaya Wade.
To watch you grow up and just be who you are in this world. Like
I can't take a compliment.
just make your mark.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is a young boy who they have on hormones. He has his nails done. It's ridiculous. Sitting there with his legs crossed with stockings on. This is ridiculous.
like to me, I've always known that you're gonna be a rock star. I've always known that. It's funny because even from
how's he a rock star? He wanted to say someone special, but you see how they got to be careful with everything that they say. If he would have said, "I always knew he was going to be someone special," what's special about him? The fact that he's a boy that identifies as a girl, that's special. We all saw that. He was about to say, "I knew he was going to be someone special." How is this kid a rock star? If he was if Dwayne Wade, if his father wasn't in the NBA, wasn't a Hall of Famer, and he didn't have money and fame, this would be a regular emasculated boy who has childhood trauma and has been exposed to things that have made him identify this way.
It's something that's so small as far as I always look at the when you proposed to Gab.
Yeah, that photo.
And she was there and she had the photo and then you was talking. And I remember I was interviewing her. Way back, little itty bitty. And I was like, yo, powerful. I mean, it's a little baby.
Yeah.
It's powerful. And I've known since then he's gonna just change the world. And it's crazy. And I know that's
how did he change the world? Like, they're just talking and not making sense of this. All right. So this is Dwayne Wade again. And if you look at the caption for the video, unapologetically Zaya Wade discussing her confidence translatable in becoming an icon. Becoming an icon? What? So this is Dwayne Wade's podcast, and he's up here trying to promote his son, who he calls his daughter, for clout. He and Gabrielle Union want to go down in history as being a part of the front runners for promoting the trans agenda in the Black community. They're going to be on the wrong side of history. All right? Because Black emasculation that was done during slavery, I talk about this in my book. I actually use Zaya Wade in my book as an example. My book, Black Supremacy, go get the book. They don't tell you the backstory about how Zaya Wade had a teacher who was a lesbian when she was in elementary school, when she came out as trans or whatever. They don't tell you that part. I have it in my book. I have all the sources, the whole thing. This boy is victim of an agenda. Black male emasculation. If you go look up a former slave by the name of Fountain Hughes, one of the last living slaves in America, died in 1957. There's interviews. You can YouTube it. Interviews of Fountain Hughes talking about how they made black boys wear, black male slaves wear dresses. And now you promote it like it's something good. Being a father is not about saying okay and saying, being a good father is not about approving of everything your child does, saying yes to everything your child wants to do, however they identify. Being a child is, being a father is about correction, providing provision, and being able to guide your children. Give them a foundation, give them morals. You don't just say when your son comes and you say, oh, I think I'm a girl, and you just say, okay, we'll run with that. That's not a good parent. You have to recognize what's detrimental to your child and say, no, let me stop you right there. This is a black boy. How can you ever support black male emasculation? How?
That's hyperbole. Now everyone says, "Oh, you're going to no." It was just something because it was a light there.
Yeah.
For you, do you think
you wanted to say something special again?
Like, did you recognize that in yourself, or were you just living life, just like I'm just who I am?
No, I got it. I knew I had it. It was obvious. It was obvious in my demeanor, in my humor, in my fashion sense, though awful looking back, but good at the time. And yeah, I mean, how can you not? I mean, like, look who I come from. You know what I mean? Like, and what I come from, and where I'm born, where I'm raised, and all that. Like the experiences that I get. So it's hard not to think that you can do something and like change the world in some way when you have that like upbringing. So I think I knew. I mean, it sounds a little egotistical, but But
it's your life.
Hey,
it's
your life.
journey.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
what way is this boy changing the world? He's trying to be another Marsha P. Johnson or something like that. You're not the first to do this. You're RuPaul all over again. You're not the first. This is just more popular now, and they now have the term trans. But this is just a gay, feminine boy here. You're not a girl. You're not a woman. You're just a gay, feminine boy. Because technology is advanced and they gave you hormones and you sound like a girl and all of this stuff. That doesn't make you a girl. You have popularity because your parents, your stepmom and your father are famous, and you have wealth and resources. That's it. And you just came out as a fairy.
I don't know. I went into it with a lot of confidence.
I'd rather see you at 17 say you knew you had it and you know what's in you, versus there's some 17-year-old kids that don't know jack shit. Right. You ask them, they like, I don't know. And that's the answer. You're like, whoa. You don't know what? Like, we've been giving you the answer. You know the answer. You state the answer.
She's been preparing for it.
You do it with confidence.
She's been like that. Like, you know, when you know your path, right? Like when you know where I'm trying to get to, it's one thing where you just kind of like, I'm just trying to figure this life. I'm just going to just fall into where I'm going to fall into.
People just go with the flow, right, Bob. I'm just telling you.
Right.
Just dealing with kids. I'm telling you. You ask a question. Like, she's been bashful. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but because you may not be on my level, but at the same time, I want
3 black men sitting here calling this boy she.
My kids to brag. I'm putting into them something that can't nobody take away.
Yeah.
Because the world gonna tell you what you ain't.
All day, every day.
If the world gonna tell you, you might as well say, I believe. Yeah. Because who else gonna believe?
Facts.
Yeah. It starts with you.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, bro. So I know what I'm trying to do at the house. I'm trying to put that. Hey, like, you great. And for you to know, That's awesome. Don't be bashful about that.
You know, I mean, Zaya has always had, a special. You know, every parent think their kids are special. That's first.
Sure,
when they're a certain age,
Right.
when they get a certain age, you be like, nah, that boy ain't got it. Nah, she ain't. But when
Look at this. Look at this. Look at Dwayne Wade. Look at his nails. Colored nail polish. This brother is 6'4", 215, 220 pounds. Sitting up there with colored nail polish on. This is weird. Just weird.
when they're young,
You right,
and they
boy.
small, you be like,
You right.
oh, I'm telling you. But when they're young, you be like, ooh, boy, man, look, go ahead and show them. Go ahead and tell them. But I think Zaya is one kid that we all was around at a very young age, and we was like, it's something special about this little human.
Yes.
And
What was so special? They keep saying that. Weird? Something weird about this little human? Why does the person get to be special? Because they're different. Why can't they be weird? So you can't say weird, but they special now. Because he was a little boy and you realize at an early age he was gay. This ain't the first time that we've seen a little boy that we knew at a young age they was gay. They was feminine. Everybody else, all the other boys want to go play sports. They outside playing football and getting rough and getting dirty, playing basketball. He inside want to play with some Barbie dolls. So now that's special because he's feminine and emasculated. No, we should be getting down to the root of the issue. What was he exposed to? Because you aren't born that way. So what was he exposed to that made him come out, that made him become this?
the way that she moved, the way she talked, you know, and she was very cocky when she was young. Like right now, she's being real humble, but when she was young, she'll let you know.
That's
She let you know right away.
This is
I'm
the
the smartest
result of
person in this house.
I'm only humble now because of my upbringing. I was bad. I was bad, and I was told I was bad. So I learned. No, I think a thing like for me, you know, when you ask a kid like, oh, like what do you want to be when you grow up, like that. Yeah. Which, by the way, I kind of despise that question, but whatever. You know, they say something. I'm sure Zaya was like a basketball player, which great, you know, and yeah. And I thought to myself, I think I might. There was a long period of time where I might have said fashion designer. I feel like that was a good chunk of time. But I wanted to be like everything I could be. Like I wanted to be like an author and this and that. And I wanted to like do, I don't know, whatever I was into at that moment. And I think there was a point in time where I realized like I actually like could be whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can say like I want to be an astronaut and whatever, and that's great. You know what? Do that. Couldn't be me, but do that.
Right.
But some people, I feel like there's something that they want to be, and then there's something that they're really, really good at. And you can do that thing that you're good at, and you can still want. But there are a lot of things that I've wanted to be that I like truly believe that I am or could be good at. Like and I think that instilled me with a lot of confidence, like in like knowing what I want or setting a plan or like a future, is that I've always been confident that like I can do whatever I want to do in the future. Like I don't want things for myself that feel so super like unattainable that I like can't do it. I mean, it's nice to dream, but like when I said as like a kid, like I want to be a scientist, and it's like, right, like here I am getting like A's in AP biology. Like I'm not cutting myself short all the time. Or like I said I wanted to be a writer, and like, you know, I mean, it's, you know, kid stuff, but like, yeah, like I've written my own little like personal short stories and show them to you guys. And I mean,
they were not short stories.
Anyways,
you've written novels.
Yeah, I mean,
like she's been writing her own books and novels since she was a kid. And I mean, and I think one thing cool for me as a parent is I got a chance to get to know her through that. And even though it was characters that came from another universe when she would write, it was never like John and Bob. It was, she would use, you know, she would come from a whole different place and use different characters and, you know, and go in a different way. But I knew that was her way of expressing herself. And so I would read it and I would get to know Zaya by reading the characters that she was creating, in a sense, right? And so she's been doing it for so long.
Was that intentional?
Well, it wasn't an accident that most of my characters were queer.
He's wearing that wedding band. Why did he get married? Who, like, I want to know, did they take an oath under God, or like, what was it? And which God do they believe in, if they believe in a God? Because this isn't biblical. So that's what I'm thinking of.
Creating, in a sense, right? And so she's been doing it for so long.
Was that intentional?
Well, it wasn't an accident that most of my characters were queer.
Can we say
so
that?
Then
That's
queer?
Can you say queer?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't use it the wrong way, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm from the South.
I mean, that's a great question.
I can hit you with that.
Right. But you see what I'm saying, though? Being from Texas, people use stuff like, in Texas, there's only steers and queers. Like, steer is like...
I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, it would be inappropriate for me to be like, yo, that's queer. Because, you know, people only say things that are joking.
Yeah.
So for me to even hear it, I think I heard it one other time when somebody said, I'm like, you can say that? Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, queer is an umbrella term for, like, I mean, anything that's not.
Educate us.
Like,
because a lot of people out here do not know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like the term, like LGBTQ or.
I hate when people say, like, educate us. Maybe he's uneducated on the topic. But someone like myself, who I've studied this stuff. I've studied the whole LGBTQIA. I've studied the trans community. I know about, you can see in all of my other videos, I keep my DSM-5 on me. It's right here. I literally study this stuff. And when you disagree, they try to presume that they try to, they arrive at some hypothesis, or in their opinion, you're uneducated because you disagree. No, I'm educated on it and I disagree. I can lay out the facts, data, statistics as to why I disagree and why you're wrong related to this topic, especially as it pertains to Black people. But let's continue.
You know, plus all the like denominations, but like the Q stands for queer. Like we wouldn't add that if we didn't want to use it.
Okay.
And
I don't know that.
Like
Makes sense.
In my mind, if somebody was like, well, what does queer mean? Like that's kind of the point, is there's not a big meaning. It's kind of whatever. All of them fall under queer except for transgender, because it's just a gender thing, not a sexuality thing, which I'll get into later. I don't want to get too into it. People like to associate sexuality and gender a lot, but whatever.
Yes, they do.
Same with like the I, intersex. It's also a gender thing, but yeah, queer is anything you want to be. Like you could really fit them all in a category if you don't want a label for like a specific label for your sexuality. Like you don't know who you like, which I feel like is very just true for the experience, especially of kids. Like it's hard to really know as one singular fact, like who you like, what you like, all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to be able to throw it in this little umbrella and to not have to just be so stuck in a thing. I mean, you know, don't go around being like, you queer, like, you know what I mean? Like, well,
it's almost like
cute, but yeah,
it's almost like saying the N-word is what I'm saying. Like, you know, you see somebody out that's dressed like
did this fool just say it's almost like saying the N-word? This fool just said that saying queer is almost like saying the N-word. You see the problem? People like this idiot, they compare the LGBTQIA movement and different terms within their movement to the Black struggle and what Black people have gone through. There is no word in the dictionary and language use that compares to the N-word. There is no word. There's no way you can ever say it's almost like saying the N-word. There's no word that you can compare to it. And him being a Black man, for him to say that is just, this is the problem I have. That is so stupid and so ridiculous. Darn idiot.
It's like taboo.
It's like
sense,
taboo.
Right?
It's like, man, that's kind of queer, right? But the way I was raised, queer is not a word that you would say out loud because it would be offensive. So when you say queer, it automatically is like someone saying the N-word. Like, yo, can you say that?
Got you.
Yeah.
So that's
just stupid. You're trying to equate the offensiveness from someone hearing queer to the offensiveness of a Black person hearing the N-word and how that word can be used and the impact that word will have. It's significantly different than queer. That's just stupid. That is just ridiculous. If you look at what Black people have gone through in America for the last 400 or 500 years and our experience and what we went through, there's no group of people that went through anything that can equate to that. So that's why you're using the simile to make your comparison. It's just stupid. Darn ignorant dummy.
That's
I definitely can say
I think a lot of it too,
definitely my word,
in this space that we're talking about is a lot of people are not educated.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, and I tell people all the time, is my journey to get educated started right here.
Right.
And then from there you go and take what you learn and then you go further your education. But a lot of people are just simply not educated on something as simple as queer and what queer even stands for, means. Yeah.